I would like to introduce Mr. Brij Purahit, founder and CEO of Seller App, a leading data-oriented e-commerce service provider. At Seller App, Brij oversees the company's product strategy, including the tech, design, engineering, and growth for Seller App mainstream customers. Today, Brij will be helping you understanding your marketplace store health and inventory performance. Without any further delay, let's welcome Mr. Brij.
Hey, thanks, Andy, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the virtual life of living, right? So now, because of this current situation and things has moved on to more of a virtual environment. So currently, we are also conducting the sessions virtually, right? So for the day, my topic is, let me share the screen. Hope you guys see my screen. So for the day, currently today, my topic is about your account health on the Amazon, right? And as Sandeep mentioned, Seller App is a data analytics company. We are into the business for last 4 years. We look at the different data from the different angles, right? And what we have observed in past couple of months that most of the sellers generally don't pay attention to the details, right? And they generally focus on the numbers that, okay, how they can make more money, how they can make more revenue, right? But I always suggest to them, okay, revenue is the one part of the business, but you should know how you need to craft it, right? And if you look at the Amazon Seller Central, it's a tool. And you need to understand that how you have to make this tool healthy so that it can generate more revenue. It's more about art rather than chasing behind the numbers, that how you can make more orders or the sales, right? And when it comes to your account health, what we have observed in the past, me and my team has audited, I think, several of accounts, and what we have seen, even the big sellers account, almost like 35% of those accounts are at verge of getting suspended, right? And it's mostly because of the smaller details which they don't pay attention to, right? So today in this session, we will explore all around the different segments of those business aspects, what you need to take care of so that your account is healthy and it helps you to craft more money, right? And why it is important now at this point of time, right? Because it's always a good saying that whatever revenue you make in first 3 quarters is equal to what revenue you make at the last quarter, right? And even in context of India, if you look at there is about to start that Diwali sales, Black Friday, Amazon sales, Christmas and holiday seasons, right? And what worse can be rather than getting your account suspended, right? And that's too because of these smaller issues or the smaller infringement or the violations which you are doing unintentionally, but still you are paying for it, right? So if you look at Amazon, on the dashboard they provide you the complete card. There is a small notification at the top where you can see that, okay, this is your account health, you got 1 violations, right? And in when you log into that, it displays clearly that what all modules you have and where you are getting maximum violations, right? So what you need to do is to keep a track of those modules, where your infringement are, have a plan of action, how you can fix it, right? So if you look at, let me look at the examples of a good and the bad dashboards, right? So if you look at this particular person's dashboard, it's a good and a healthy dashboard. 0% defect rates. There is just one intellectual property violations that may be because of the brand, but still he has time to respond it. And this is example of the bad account health, right? So bad defect rates, number of violations by the customers, infringement policy violations, trademark violations, right? And because of this account is suspended at this point of time. So what I would suggest you take the time, go back to your dashboard, look into your different segments and do that auditing by yourself, right? And if you don't have time, probably ask your seller friend who understand all of these aspects of the business, ask him to audit the account for you, and you can do the account audit for someone else, right? So it has to be a critical part of your business. I would say maybe if you are not doing it on a daily basis, but at least make sure that you do twice a month, right? Or maybe on a weekly basis, these account audits, right? And these are the 4 major principles based on which I would suggest that you have to look at account health, right? So review the whole section instead of picking the smaller piece, right? So we generally look at, okay, this is my order defect rate. I am not looking into the IP violations or the trademark violations of the part, right? And what happens that when you are looking at the order defect rate only, probably when you get IP violations or the trademark violations, Amazon give you the sufficient time to respond that, and you will neglect it, right? So don't let, so this is the second principle, don't let your notifications stay longer. Even though Amazon is giving you 60 days to respond. You should not be like, okay, 59th day you have not taken any action. On the last day you are writing something and responding back, right? And why I am saying this is from the experience that 60% of the time the sellers who respond without having a proper plan of actions get rejected, right? And the multiple rejections again lead to your account suspensions. So what you do at the first time, you have to make sure you do it properly. You follow all the actions all the way through. Don't do it, let's say, half baked things, right? Half baked solutions. Make sure that you finish it completely and respond in a proper way. So that is the third one. And integrate your, as an, this is again the fourth one. It is a best practice that you integrate it with your business operations, right? Maybe on a weekly basis, review all your infringements, review the reasons for that, take the necessary action, write a plan of action, respond to Amazon. Don't let these things be as an okay chalta hai kind of thing, right? And why it is important, I would say it's more from, not only from the account health perspective that okay your account is active, but it's more help you in getting more business, right? This helps you in making sure that you are winning more buy box, you are getting more visibility, right? Your sellers, your customers are recognizing you more as a trusted brand rather than a new entry in the market, right? And it also boosts confidence of Amazon on your seller account, on the brand you are selling, on the services you are providing, and all of that. Right. So if you look at now account health, it falls into the two sections. One is more from a customer side where Amazon wants you not to delay on the orders. Your order should be proper. And the other part of it is mostly from the brand perspective, your trademark perspective, your IP perspective, right? Because for Amazon, both cost money. If the customers are not happy, Amazon is going to get the bad name, right? And if someone is claiming the IP infringements on the product you are selling, that okay, you are not the authorized sellers, or you are selling the counterfeited products for the reputed brand. So Amazon has to pay for it, right? So now let's look into detail that what are these different aspects from the customer side. Then we will look from the different aspects from the brand and from the IP and the infringement side, right? So first and the most critical thing is the order defect rate. If you are doing seller fulfilled services, so you have to make sure that your order defect rate is less than 1%. So you have to make sure that whatever orders you are getting has to be fulfilled, right? Your cancellations rate has to be less than 4%, right? And there can be multiple reasons that you can avoid these cancellations. So when you look at the listings, you have to make sure that all the details information of the product are right on the product listing pages, right? So what we have seen, most of the cancellations are because of not right information, right? So there is so most of the time when you see that there is a different packaging size and there is a different product size, right? So what is the expectation from a customer is a product size, not the packaging size. So we have to make sure whatever we put information on these things, whether it's in terms of guarantee, whether it's in terms of your sizes, whether it's in terms of your quality of the product, everything has to be right. Otherwise, your cancellations rate will be high, right? Late dispatch fees, right? Late dispatch rate. So it again has to be less than 2.5% of this, right? And you have to make sure that whenever you get the order, you have to be a little bit proactive in accepting it and shipping your product ASAP, right? Valid tracking numbers. When you are doing your own fulfillment, you have to make sure that you provide a valid tracking numbers to the customers, so they make sure that what is the delivery time, right, when they are expecting it, right? And on time deliveries is the most important thing, right? So this everything falls into this nutshell, that you have to make sure that you are doing the deliveries on time, right? And again, so it's again from the customer perspective. So even if you get a return rate, so how satisfied the customer is during the process of return, right? So you would have seen that several times customer raises a request for the returns, but it's not accepted, right? Or maybe if I have any queries and these kind of things, right? So you have to make sure even it's a return, the customer is satisfied. That's the policy from the Amazon side, right? So your return satisfaction rate also matters. So you have to make sure that you keep it under 10%. Invoice defect rates, again, so invoices and everything whatever has to be done on the customer side has to be perfect, right? And it has to be time bound, and you have to make that you are not crossing those thresholds. And this is again from the IP and the infringement side, that your copyrights, your trademarks, whether you are authorized sellers to sell those products or not, right? Avoid product where you see that a lot of IP infringement by the different brands. Like example, if you are selling a Marvel product without having a proper brand authorization, or you have the proper approval letters, probably you will see a lot of IP issues from that side, right? So avoid those kind of products. And if you are selling it, make sure that you accept all of that. So as a general flow, what I do, during the account audit, you have to make sure that you break it down into 4 different flows: product and quality operations, performance metrics, and the buyer thing, and anti-competitive behavior reviews, fake reviews, your returns, your analysis. So this is a general standard flow. I know this can be a little bit intimidating for you to understand, but feel free to reach out to the booth and understand all of that, right? You can ask us, right? So familiarize yourself with a different aspect of your dashboard. Make sure that you take the responsibility of these notifications. You make sure that you reach to the end of the issue, make a proper POA documents, respond to those complaints, right? Everything you do. Make sure your inventory is available. Make sure you look at your IPI indexes. Because of current situation, Amazon is restricting a lot of categories to overstock and understock in both the conditions, right? And when you are doing this, you have to make sure that shipping damages, overselling, and late shipping. So if you are doing your own shippings, make sure that you are not doing all of that, right? So you have to make sure that these things are at the time, right? Regularly review your product, your return rates, right? Try to solve the customer issues first before Amazon understand all of these issues. So it can be around your listing sizes, your product sizes, your product quality, your brand names which you are using in the product listings, right? And this is the most critical thing, that you make sure that you get someone else to review your account if you are not expert in this. And it's always good to have second opinion or the second eye to look at your accounts, right? Which helps you to save money, which helps you to give a different perspective of the business. It helps you to find out the critical problems and the solutions for that, right? So, and when you get an infringement, it's not about getting panicked. You have to make sure that you find out the proper root cause, create a plan of action, and make sure that how you are going to respond it, that it's not going to happen again, right? So these are the 4 main tips or 5 main tips when you are writing your plan of actions, right? Answer to the question what is asked, don't talk other things, be clear and concise, provide an explanation for all the issues, right? Include supporting evidences of all the items, that if you are getting a brand infringement, so if you have proper approval letters for selling or reselling those brands, include all of that, and focus on the most important areas rather than digressing from the main issues which they have raised. So one of the examples you can have a look at, which clearly says that what caused this complaint, what I have done, or as a seller you have done to take a resolution for this complaint, and how you are going to prevent this particular thing not happening in the future, right? And this plan of actions has to be right at the first time. So if you are not taking efforts to write this plan of actions in a proper way, probably you are losing a lot of holes, because of which Amazon can block you, right? So this is what we have for the presentation. Feel free, I know this was a rushing presentation. Feel free to reach out to the booth. You can, if you have any doubt, you can ask us, or you can reach out to my team at this, and take care of your health, your account health in this current situation. That's the most important thing for the business and for yourself. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Bridge, for the valuable insights.